Alright. Now we've got enough time just for the last two mystery reviews. Do you want the first or the second?
Eeny, meeny, miny. Second.
Okie dokie. Alrighty then. Yep, it's popping up as it should.
Oh boy.
Well, you know.
Right, I'm at 0.
Waiting for my bat to load. Oh, sorry.
Something to wake lids up. Eliza Dushku's going to play She-Hulk. I'm interested. I'm
Oh,
interested.
wait, I'm sorry. I'm awake.
Yeah. Don't, otherwise your movie might send her images again.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't send me images, Ruby. Please no. Well, bad images. It'd be nice ones.
I got a better one. John Moxley as Ghost Rider.
Ooh.
Got my attention. Danny Ketch.
Everyone at 0?
There.
Okay. Oh yeah, I probably should turn the jazz music off a second. Might get a bit confusing.
Might help.
Yep. In 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, the retrospective openings are only for the first 4 reviews. Once it goes to the 5th, it's just the new one all the way. But I felt it was time for a change. This is what the Sly Stallone movie should have been. Gritty, dark, fast-paced, and slick. This movie is unapologetically violent, and it stays true to the gritty nature of the comics, and Dredd himself is properly represented. He is about the law, and only the law. There's a great mystery surrounding him, which Anderson seems to begin exploring when she feels the anger and bitterness radiating from him. It's a good way of keeping a mysterious angle with Dredd with not revealing too much about the character's backstory. The next one you could look at as a pro and a con. It's clear from the budget of the movie that was going to be restrictive in terms of where they could go to shoot. In a similar vein to 2016's Deadpool, where the location is very small in scale and that certain locations are reused. But at the same time, this is an asset to the movie as it has Dredd and Anderson in a cornered animal situation in which they have to use the surroundings to their advantage to gain the upper hand on the Mama Clan. Trying to say that with a straight face is next to near impossible. Trust me, I've tried. Some have criticized the look of the movie for not being so futuristic, save for Dredd's weaponry and his motorbike. But if I'm being honest here, given the gritty, derelict look of Megacity 1, I think the future aesthetics being toned down actually serves the movie better because then it's in line with the tone and direction of the movie. The inclusion of a narcotic drug where it slows down a person's perception as if time is moving at a heavily decreased rate is novel and it's trippy to see on screen, especially in 3D. Whereas the Stallone movie embraced the futuristic elements along with its campy tone, this stays true to the tone of the comics, and it's just grit on grit. What can I say? It was a product of its time. One thing I feel that this movie does right is having some forms of levity, in that Dredd will say something that is amusing, but it doesn't derail the gritty tone.
How'd she get away with it?
You know how often we get a judge up in peace trees? Well, you got one now.
One great aspect about this movie, the helmet never came off once.
Nope.
This is an important element because even in the comics, if Dredd removed his helmet, there would be a censored or pixelated image covering his identity. I liken the idea of Dredd to that of Spider-Man. Other than his chin exposed, it can be anyone underneath that. Just like, without knowing that it's Peter Parker underneath the mask, Spidey can be anyone. While this movie serves as a great piece for Dredd himself, it also equally serves as a good character evolution for Cassandra Anderson. She starts out as a rookie judge, not being completely sure of herself and even questioning certain actions. in which one she later regrets in shooting the father of a child. By the end of the movie, she's been battle-tested, hardened, gained confidence, and much more sure of herself. And this, folks, is what we call character development. In summary, for a 95-minute movie, you get what you need, and then some, for a character that was in dire need of some movie justice. Say what we will about the former, but this movie is much more true to the character. I couldn't have cast anyone better if I tried, so I won't. Carl is no stranger to being a character actor. You need only look at his performance as Bones in the recent Star Trek movies to know that he studied Forrest
How he
Kelly
managed to see through that, I don't know.
to get the tone and mannerisms down of Dr. Leonard
Oh,
McCoy.
so he's great as
In This
Billy
Is
Butcher's
Dredd,
voice.
there is
He
no
is.
Urban,
He absolutely
only
is.
Dredd. He really worked on studying the character to knowing the lore inside and out and to making his voice sound like a buzzsaw. One moment that sends a chill down people's spines is this.
Law is not the law. I am the law.
The way he says it so calm, composed, and poised, you can tell that this is a character you don't want to mess with. And it's a reminder. It's the quiet ones you gotta watch for. After so many years of...
Where were the other drugs going? Swear to me!
It's so refreshing to have...
I am the law.
Robert De Niro once said,
I'll do
powerful
whatever you say,
men
sir.
do not shout. And when you have someone like Dredd that's calm and composed, you know this is a guy to take seriously. He holds the power, and sometimes you don't see him coming. In a weird way, this movie is told from her perspective. It's almost like seeing Dredd and this world from the audience's perspective. Kind of how Winston Zeddemore represented the audience in Ghostbusters. Olivia gives a very honest and believable portrayal as a rookie judge being assessed by the best judge on the streets. She makes mistakes along the way and she learns and grows throughout the story. I've seen Lena perform well in other projects like the Sarah Connor Chronicles, where you buy her performance as Sarah Connor. In this, she acts like a try-hard badass that we've seen from better performances such as Ripley from Aliens and Linda Hamilton from Terminator. She plays a stone-cold villain well, but it's not anything new. Had she been a little more subtle and played the role in the way where she's evil with kindness or betrays members of her clan, then that would have added layers to it. But her performance just comes off as uninspired.
I mean, you could have put anybody
And
in
that's
that role.
sad
You could have done a
when you know
decent
she's
job.
done better.
I'm sorry. You could have. No offense. Offense to Lena.
Considering the low budget of this movie, they spent their budget accordingly. The slow-mo scenes, while looking a little fake at some angles, do their job well. The practical effects do their job because, as mentioned before on here, it's very difficult to screw up practical effects in this day and age. One visual effect that I can only describe because it'd be too graphic to show in the review is the weapon that Dredd fires that essentially causes the perp's head to melt. You think I'm kidding?
Ooh.
Watch this movie after this review, and then you'll know why. In fact, there are multiple scenes with regards to shootouts where the visual effects are way too graphic for me to put in this review. But then again, it's rated 18 for a reason.
The creator loves this.
He does. Paul Leonard Morgan was given the responsibility of composing the score for this picture, and he really helps to match the tone of the writing and the look as it just amplifies the grit
actually means
of this
something.
picture.
Yep.
Especially when he's matching these psychedelic scenes of slow-mo. You have to be able to reflect the out-there trippiness. He had previously worked on 2011's Limitless, in which that movie was well received. The world of this movie is a very harsh, gritty atmosphere, and Paul captures this excellently. Despite the good review of this movie, it only took $41.5 million against a very modest budget of $30 to $45 million.
Yeah.
In 2022, that's worth $51.2 million.
I still want a sequel.
But, and I don't want to be that guy,
Many people
when you're
do.
competing with The Dark Knight Rises that summer,
or an anime
it's some
series on
really stiff
Netflix.
competition.
Yeah.
Critics
Yeah.
and fans alike praised
Yeah,
Carl
if you-
Urban for his performance
you
for
look
being
at
so
freaking,
authentic and true to the character.
Yeah, the
and
boy's
how it should be
diabolical.
portrayed.
Carl Urban isn't above doing
Entertainment
animation.
Weekly's Darren Franich enjoyed his incredibly wry performance using little more than his gravelly imitation Clint Eastwood voice and his chin. IndieWire argued that with the film, he continues to distinguish himself as a versatile performer who turns mimicry into emotional meaning. Variety's Jeff Berkshire wrote, "The actor does a fine job embodying the more mythic qualities of Dredd as an upright law enforcer no lowlife would want to confront." Well, that and maybe Batman. Judge Dredd creator John Wagner, who was critical of the 1995 movie, just like the rest of us were, gave a positive review of Dredd. He said, quote, "I liked the movie. It was unlike the first film, a true representation of Judge Dredd. Carl Urban was a fine Dredd, and I'd be more than happy to see him in the follow-up. Olivia Thirlby excelled as Anderson. The character and storyline are pure Dredd." Fans have demanded a continuation for years, with Urban equally wanting to return to the character. There have been talks of a Dredd TV series with Urban in talks to star in it. The movie has been enjoyed since 2012 on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. I'm MJ Knight, and this was Dredd. He's a disgruntled cop. And he became even more disgruntled when he found out that Chad Warden got his own movie.
Oh, hell no!
Oh, yeah.
Watch Cyber-Raiden star in his first leading role as Judge Slander. Also starring Kaiju Noir as Detective Gumshoe, Awesome Lydia as Police Commissioner Kitsune Asa, Sir Stephen as Officer Virgil Mayhem, and Win the Rogue as Lieutenant Lena Francine Castle. Judge Slander. He will drop those L's.
They ain't ready. They ain't ready. They ain't ready for my log. Yeah, not ready.
Coming this fall to Noirflix, a Slenderous Kenshiro production.
Yeah. Oh my god. I love it. That was... Oh, God bless you, MG. God bless you. Oh. That was good. Oh, wow. Oh, man.
I thought that might get a laugh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephen, thoughts on Dredd 10 years later, and thoughts on the review and Raiden's first starring role?
I unfortunately never was able to see Dredd, but it's definitely one I'm gonna have to track down.
You should.
Yeah. Great reviewers, as you always are able to do, especially with that mock trailer at the end.
Madam President, same questions.
That was a really great review, and I did enjoy the ending. That was fun. And again, I have to agree with your thoughts. I wish there was a continuation of this film. I wish it done better than it did, which is kind of a crime. Which again needs to have Judge Dredd deal with that.
Yeah.
All Urban, get on there, freaking get on those producers. But yeah, but it was a really great movie, and it was a really awesome review. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Last but never least, Judge Slander himself.
What can I say? I mean, I said it before in the review. I really love this movie. I think I watched it like once or twice. Anytime it's on. I mean, I'm not really a big Judge Dredd guy, but I've heard stories on how much of a badass he was in the comics. And I saw the first time when they used LaRue's In for the Kill, like, okay, I'm in. Watched the movie the first time, and I immediately love it. I definitely remember way back then it was compared to one of my other all-time favorite movies, The Raid Redemption, because it has, a lot of its similarities. Like, you have cops entering a corrupted building, they gotta get out alive in order to escape. So yeah, I still prefer the Raid Redemption over this movie, but still, for what it's worth, it's a really great representation of the character itself. Olivia Thirlby as Judge Anderson, you constantly want to root for. You know, it's not they don't like make her a uber tough girl. Like, listen, you can make your female characters a little vulnerable and let her rise up. Like, here's a really good example: Amber Midthunder as Naru in Prey. I mean, you see her character for the first time, and she wants to be a a warrior, a hunter, but she kind of sucks at that episode. She keeps constantly training, and then you have this threat in the Predator, which tests her limits. So you can say the same thing about Anderson, about this whole thing on becoming a judge. So that's good character development itself. I do agree with you. Lena Headey as Mama was pretty weak as a villain. In a sense, it was a little bit too try hard like, but that doesn't really hurt the movie itself. And what can I say about Judge Carl Urban, Judge Dredd? He's, in a sense, he's basically a chameleon when it comes to these rules. So it's so different. I mean, with his as freaking Billy Butcher and the Boys, he knows how to take a role and just bodies it. And being at the end, Judge Slander, that was really good. I enjoyed that very much. So yeah, that was good. So all in all, great review.
No worries.